What if some of heaven's most trusted beings weren't always the pure and perfect creatures we thought they were? Fallen angels, those cast down from heaven, stand as of the most mysterious and dramatic stories ever told. They weren't just banished, they were part of a cosmic rebellion that would change everything. Welcome back to another episode of Secret Archives. Today we are diving deep into the legend of the fallen angels, the secondary antagonists of the Bible. These beings went from divine messengers to ultimate traitors in a betrayal led by Lucifer himself. This devilish being had it all but threw it away, because pride and envy got the better of him. So he rallied a third of heaven's angels to challenge God, and lost. From there, things spiraled fast. Banished to Earth, they became dark forces of chaos, corrupting humanity, creating monstrous Nephilim, and spreading destruction through lies, possession, and violence. But even at their worst, they knew they couldn't outrun God's power. And in the end, that power always wins. While the term fallen angels doesn't show up in any religious text, the idea is actually older than you think. These angels didn't just fail to follow the rules. Nah, they went rogue, challenging the very order of the universe, tempting humanity with forbidden knowledge, and even defying God himself. But why were they cast out? And what did their fall really mean for the world? The whole idea of these divine beings actually started way back in Canaanite mythology. According to their beliefs, a group of divine beings called the Bain Ha-Elohim, aka Sons of God, got kicked out of the divine court. They didn't just mess up in heaven, they took things down to earth, and some even mated with human women. Yeah, they were up to no good, creating the Nephilim, these massive, monstrous offspring. But God wasn't having it, so he unleashed the great deluge, the flood that wiped everything out. But even though their bodies were destroyed, their souls were still roaming, setting the stage for something darker. Some early Christians even believed that pagan gods were actually fallen angels in disguise, leading people astray with false worship. But what exactly went down? Well, their lust, pride, and envy got these angels kicked out, not to mention some of them got caught trying to steal God's powers. In the Christian Bible, some angels, led by Lucifer, decide to rebel against God, claiming they could do the job better. Of course, they failed big time, and thus demons were created. The whole idea of demons actually comes from these fallen angels. Christianity says evil didn't just come from thin air, it's the result of good angels turning corrupt. These demons are like the evil versions of angels, with a divine backstory. Western Christian philosophy loves to explore this idea too, debating how the mind can twist itself and give rise to evil. Christian writers like Tertullian link this fall to human temptation, with the notion that fallen angels had a thing for earthly desires. And yeah, this idea even made its way into the practice of women covering their heads, as a way to protect themselves from the allure of these rebellious angels. But not all Christian writers had the same take. Some thought the angels got caught up in their own power and tried to leave heaven just to experience human pleasures. And as we know, this didn't end well for them. Back in the 12th century, a man named Caesarius of Heisterbach dropped a big take on this. He said that some of these fallen angels were actually trying to do good things on earth, like guiding knights back to their path of righteousness, even helping out with church bells. But of course, the angels were still fallen, so they didn't get the full redemption pass. Some legends even say these angels took the form of fairies in Irish and Scandinavian myths, but their souls were still locked out of heaven for good. Some fallen angels were actually said to have ended up as freaky, animal-like creatures. Later stories from places like 15th century Duth and German legends painted them as twisted beings that didn't really fight for good or evil. They were pretty much lost in the middle somewhere, but even in some versions, they were like ethereal spirits tied to elements like water or air. Harmless, but still very much on the outside of heaven. And this story has global reach, though in each religion it's told a little differently. In Islam, the Quran mentions fallen angels in a way that sounds pretty familiar. Some Muslim scholars believe that Satan or Iblis was actually an angel. Others say he was a jinn, a whole other realm of creatures. Iblis was all up in his pride, refusing to bow down to Adam. But in this, Iblis didn't try to overthrow God. He just thought humans were inferior and didn't want to submit. The Quran says Iblis's goal is to mislead us humans, but he's only allowed to try, not succeed. There's also the story of two angels, Harut and Marut, who were sent to earth and basically fell from grace after they disobeyed God's command and engaged in forbidden activities. Now, these angels weren't on some evil power trip. They were initially on earth because God allowed them to teach magic as a test for humans and themselves. But but they ultimated failed and were punished and made to stay in a well in Babylon, forever a symbol of disobedience and accountability. It's a total twist on the classic fallen angel story. Instead of rebellion, it's all about the divine permission for temptation. During the Second Temple period between 530 BC and 70 AD, these stories evolved through apocalyptic writings like the Book of Enoch, Book of Jubilees, and the Qumran Book of Giants. In Enoch, Samyaza and Azazel lead a full-blown angelic rebellion, teaching humans forbidden knowledge about magic, war, seduction, and everything in between. As punishment, Azazel is chained in a cursed desert forever. Divine justice hits hard. This myth shows up in Genesis 6:1-4-2, where angels known as the Watchers were sent to Earth to guide humanity, but end up falling for human women and fathering the Nephilim again, leading to widespread corruption. In the Book of Psalms, there's even a mention of divine beings who were punished and turned mortal. This whole cosmic drama was only a prelude to the Big Fall. Then, in the Book of Isaiah, things got even more dramatic. Isaiah talks about a celestial being called Helel ben Sahar, also known as the Morning Star, who tried to claim equality with God, aka Elion, but of course he was thrown down into the abyss as punishment. Talk about ego crushing. His fall became the blueprint for the idea of angels being cast down from heaven, sparking the whole fallen angel myth in Western Christianity. Meanwhile, the Book of Jubilees spins a slightly different version. Here, the Watchers were originally sent by God to educate humanity, but temptation got the better of them. They took wives, bore demonic offspring, and defiled the earth. These angels were eventually cast into the depths, and from their legacy rose Mastema, a sinister spirit who uses their descendants to lead humans astray. Then there's the second Book of Enoch, where things get even more haunting. As Enoch ascends through the heavens, he meets the Grigori, these fallen angels, consumed by regret, still grieving their downfall. Their leader, Satanael, stands as a tragic figure, powerful yet broken. Unlike the defiant rebels before them, these angels mourn their loss and resist joining heaven's song. Enoch, moved by their sorrow, even prays for them. This legend has endured through pop culture, taking over in shows like The Prophecy and Lucifer, and even movies like Angels Fallen, Dogma, and Fallen. It's left a huge mark globally. So, what's the truth? Are fallen angels just misunderstood rebels, or do they represent the dangerous side of human nature that we need to keep in check? Whether it's ancient religious texts or today's movies, the story of fallen angels will always keep us on the edge of our seats. These celestial beings didn't just fall from grace, they dropped hard, and their legacy is one of the most enduring, mysterious, and dramatic stories of all time. So what do you think? Were the fallen angels just victims of their own desires, or were they power-hungry rebels?